Josh Dad, welcome to Strange Occurrences. We're going to do another video today, but we're going to do one a little bit different than the previous two videos. It's going to be more on the fly, off the cuff, but we're going to talk about the alien thing. Full disclosure, I've never seen an alien, I've never seen a UFO. I do know a couple people that have seen UFOs in the sky.
I bring you love.
In fact, my mom claimed she saw one when she was a child. Closest thing I've ever seen to a UFO was when I was a kid in elementary school. I looked out the window and there was this jet I did not recognize in the sky. It was super fast, but it was one of ours. It was not out there. Closest thing I've ever seen to a UFO. But I have had a lot of paranormal experiences. You've seen a couple so far in this series. There's a lot more. I saw some problems on here. Only one particular. I think I got that fixed. That was kind of creepy. I've never seen a Bigfoot or a Chupacabra. I have experienced weird animals and weird behavior of animals. I'll talk about that also on the show. I've gone to a friend's house. In fact, I went to a party once and there was a lot of cold spots. I was at a party once and there was cold spots. You go one step, nothing. The next step, freezing. Step, nothing. Go back down one step, freezing. Now I have seen, the only thing I can say it is, one time an apparition at a friend's house. I'll get to that episode way down the line. I have seen potentially one apparition. Well, not including the tall man with the hat. Also get into some psychic stuff and some deja vu and premonitions. I have experienced that before when I was a kid, but when it comes to aliens or UFOs, I have never seen one. Mid-90s, my mom's taking us to church, and I think it's a new church. I don't think I've ever been here. I'm 13, 14. I'm really big into the alien autopsy. Watching videos on like the world's best evidence on UFOs. I'm finding that stuff fascinating. I love the X-Files at this time. The truth is out there. Loch Ness Monster, forbidden knowledge, all that kind of stuff I'm really into. When I was younger, I even thought the likelihood of we're alone in this universe is so small. There has to be intelligent beings. I always thought that. The preacher goes up there and I can't remember anything he says until this point. He starts talking about aliens, UFOs. Just like the wheel with Ezekiel? No. He's talking about all the modern UFOs, all the sightings, unidentified flying aircraft in the skies. Not fire and brimstone, but UFOs in the sky. Whoa, my interest is piqued. Like I said, I'm big into alien autopsy, the X-Files and everything. I remember even the pastor saying, watch the skies.
Keep watching the skies.
And then he flips the script and says, don't be deceived. They're not aliens.
I'm happy to answer any questions you have about the alien. Any questions at all.
The alien carbon-based or silicon-based?
The second one. Xylophone.
They're not aliens? What are they? And he goes, they're demons, fallen angels. And he goes on, don't get in their craft. They're not here to help you. Now at the time, I was going, wow, I love to meet an alien. I would love to get in their craft. You know, they're not going to be like evil. They're not going to be like Independence Day. They're much more advanced. They're going to have much more empathy.
I bring you love.
Their thinking abilities, their scientific abilities are going to look like magic to us. But they're benevolent. They're not malevolent. That's what I was thinking this whole time. Was that preacher onto something? Out of all the times I've gone to church, there's only two sermons I really remember. This one and one other one. It's not really relevant to the story. So let's fast forward a little bit. Now it's the 2000s. I'm in my 20s. I'm far removed from being 13 or 14. Still looking at Bigfoot stories. Monsters Quest. Almost joined one of the showrunners on that for a filmmaking project. I'll get that. That's not even what we're talking about right now. Sightings. These are true. They're doing medical experiments on us. Crossbreeding. Some of the pain stuff. And I thought it was kind of weird. They're so advanced. Why would they need to do certain things like that? And before it says for so long.
I suppose you want to probe me. Well, Might as well get it over with.
Stop. We have reached the limits of what rectal probing can teach us.
They can do aerial phenomenon that we can't do. The Phoenix Lights is our aircraft. It's probably a black project, top secret aircraft. You know, they've worked on stuff before. That's what I always thought that one was. Project Blue Book. Some of it's our aircraft. Our government and governments have used UFOs as a way of deflecting real projects. And not always. Some of them are real. Start hearing all these strange stories from abductees about using the Lord's Prayer or using the name Jesus Christ, and the aliens were repelled. It's like throwing a cross in their face, like a vampire.
Why does he hurt me?
Why would an alien react to a deity on this earth? You know, it's like I went to a planet, let's say planet 127976. I go there and they see me, they look nothing like me, and their god or deity is Gutarg. Doesn't do anything to me. They do it again. Nothing. Nothing happens to me, but for some reason, when they come here, it works. If you use, JC or the Lord's Prayer or another prayer. There's a story about a guy, UFOs started coming out from the sky, and he got really scared. And the only thing he could think of was the Lord's Prayer, and like a hand came out and slapped it out of the sky. Huh? Why would that work? If I was Independence Day and I did the Lord's Prayer, the aliens will blast me. But for some reason, if I say the Lord's Prayer and a UFO shows up in the sky, there's a possibility they can get smacked down by like almost an invisible hand. So you start hearing all these stories about some abductees using these phrases and using Jesus Christ, and they'll react. And I have a hard time contemplating that. It's like, I can't imagine E.T. the extraterrestrial. Power of Christ compels you, E.T.
E.T., now go home. No, don't use that phrase.
And take that abomination with you. I started thinking about that sermon. Was he onto something? Were these fallen angels? Were these demons? It reminds me of the Fae folk, the fairies. It's almost like they're the same thing. They abducted people. It's almost like they transformed into the same phenomenon. Even today, we have this strange Florida Mall incident where beings came out of a portal, supposedly. Then you have all the governments of the world talking about, yeah, these UFOs happen. We're not going to say much more after that. There's evidence coming out that these UFOs are real. They've been spotted throughout time, but are they? What do you think they are? Now, my thinking of aliens have changed. I don't 100% think they are aliens. I do believe they're interdimensional beings. That's another theory. Even some scientists said most likely they're from another dimension. Possibly. We could have a scenario here where there's a little bit of everything. We have aliens, we have interdimensional beings, we have fallen angels and demons. Now, I've never experienced any UFOs, any of that phenomenon, except for one thing. I almost did a Strange Occurrence last summer about it, but I had one experience with lost time. When it's camping season, we'll talk about it over the summer. That's my story. Alien talk at church, and it wasn't until about 7, maybe 10 years ago when that sermon came back to my subconscious, and I go, oh, what did that preacher say? Don't be deceived. They're not aliens. What's your opinion on it? Well, this is Josh the Retro Dad. Stay tuned for the next Strange Occurrence. I'll do a follow-up on the Amityville Horror, and I'll be doing one on Unsolved Mysteries, and I had a weird experience during Unsolved Mysteries, or might have been sightings. I might need help finding this particular clip, but I'll talk about that in a future video as well. A little bit of on-the-fly, off-the-cuff episode today, so thank you so much for watching Strange Occurrence. Please comment, like, follow, sub. There's a lot more coming. Watch the skies. When I was a kid, one of my favorite TV shows was War of the Worlds. A lot of people don't know about the show, a sequel to the 1950s War of the Worlds. They could take over our bodies now. It's bloody, gooey, and gross. I love that show. The second season was butchered, but the first season is pretty good. It was one of my favorite shows as a kid, was War of the Worlds.